Well, hello racing fans, and a warm welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for Saturday the 13th of July. We race at the Big T Turffontein. Yeah, it was supposed to be a double header, as you would have seen the fixture list, but with all the havoc with the rain down in the Western Cape, forward thinking there, they've moved a meeting to Monday. So keep an eye out for that Gallop TV preview show for Monday at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. And we'll just have a standalone meeting on this Saturday. I trust that you're well, you're having a fair week, and hopefully this weekend could be good for you, the valued racing fan. As always, Alistair Cohen on the line. He's slightly under the weather, recovering, but it's been a terrible last few days for you, Alistair. The flu is terrible, isn't it?
It's been progressively getting better, Dees. It's just the cough that needs to go and sort of need to feel alive. I mean, if I was a racehorse, I'd definitely be scratched due to abnormal blood count. Yeah, you're right about the double header. Obviously now becoming a standalone Saturday, a standalone Monday. I love racing every day. I'd much rather have it that way, but that's just a personal opinion. Hopefully they do race on Monday down in Cape Town. Yeah, this card is fairly tricky. I must be honest. I think the strike rate for me on the Gallop TV shows is 4 out of 5 exotics have arrived, but sadly I won't be catching an exotic here. I've tipped an all to come rather. Hopefully it all clicks on the Saturday card, which looks quite challenging, but if we get it right, there's no doubt there's not just riches, there's bags of riches on the other side.
Well, let's get straight into it, and we're fresh out of Thursday's race meeting at the Turffontein, where it started off superb. All those odds-on shots were winning, races 1, 2 to 4, and we had 2 Hollywoodbets Punters Challenge players going into the lucky last. It was not to be. It looked like that type of day where it was one that's going to win, but maybe on this Saturday. Race number 1 begins at 12 o'clock. It's over 1,160 meters. It will not form part of the exotics with 9 races on the go. And as always, as a guide, Alistair, betting number 1 at 33 to 10, number 2 a first timer, it's Larina and Van Vieren at 22 to 10, horse number 5 at 5 to 1, 7 at 7 to 1, and we got another first timer that's also being priced up from the David Nieuwenhuizen stable as possibly a runner to watch out for. Gimme a green card. So, Alistair, I don't know if you know anything about these first-timers, but of the race runners, this will be no surprise if one of these horses come out to make a winning debut.
Yeah, that's exactly how I read it, Dees. I mean, the best numbers on offer is from number 1, Chili Bomb, the well-bred son of Lancaster Bomber, but he was about 12 lengths behind, well, he was 12 lengths behind Pistol Pete and about 11 and a half lengths behind the runner-up, who obviously runs a race later, if I'm not mistaken, at this Turffontein card behind Pistol Pete. So, you know, Chili Bomb well beaten third, although it took a mistake check. I think there'll still be a lot of improvement to make. So it does open up for one of the first-timers. I don't have a word about them. What I can tell you, though, is that Corrupt cost 1.2 million rand at the August sale. But when you look at Corrupt's family, I'll take you through it all. The first foal, Pay Back the Money, who you'll be familiar with, was trained by Nathan Kotson, a 3-time winner, won over 1,900, 2,400 meters, and 2,600 meters. The second foal, Out of Your League, trained by Fabian Habib, a 6-time winner, won the South African Derby. And only won between 2,400 meters and 2,800 meters. Then there was a horse called H2O who wasn't too good. Then there was Zeus, rated 119. However, Zeus won between 1,400 meters and more specifically 2,600 meters. And then there's Indian Ocean, trained by Lorenzo Karim, who's a 2-time winner and has won 1,900 meters and 2,000 meters and is most prolific over an extended trip. So what I'm saying is, if Johan Janssen van Vuren can get this horse to win over 1,160 meters, the horse A must be very good, and B, Johan must be very good, because there's absolutely no hint of sprinter in this pedigree, in this family whatsoever for number 2, Corrupt. But I don't know anything about the first timers to actually stop this horse. I mean, he doesn't have to be too good to win. 10 Give Me a Green Card is very interesting on debut. The Daughter Give Me the Green Light. The Cross works out of a Judd Pot mare. David Nieuwenhuizen trains for Forthcoming. Marco van Rensburg takes the ride. I'd anticipate that she ought not to be too far away. I think the pedigree horse could also be fairly dangerous with Calvin Habib on board. He wouldn't put Calvin on a first timer if he didn't believe the horse could at least run into the first four, though it's well documented it's not the pedigree way to ready them up first time out. So unfortunately there are no clues going into the first race other than the fact that Corrupt comes from a prolific family, but over 1160 metres they are very ordinary. If he was making his debut over a mile, I'd actually be fairly confident.
Well, trifectas and quartets could be the way to go there. And what Alistair is basically saying, if this horse, number 2, Corrupt, has to win over a sprint trip, and when the stamina kicks in, well, he could be anything there. So I'll keep a close eye on him, number 2, Corrupt, see if he can win over this sprint trip. And then we can follow with buckets of confidence when they try him over further. So it could be a nice trifecta quartet to catch. And we'll wait for some comments that will certainly come through from the course when they conduct some of those interviews with those trainers of those first timers. Let's move along to the first exotic, which is race number 2. It is the start of the bar pot. You need to get on by 12:35. A juvenile plate over 1,000 meters, and the race is now just 5 runners, Alistair, with numbers 4 and 5 out. So guide as a betting 1 7-2, 2 8-10, 3 at 5-2, and 7 Watchmen. Well, keep an eye on that. That did win on Wednesday. I will see if that takes his place or not. I like to begin with Almond C, Alistair, because I like to get your take on the nursery. You know, personally, and I'm sure like many out there, was it a coupling of the distance and the going on the day, or are you inclined to think more the going than the distance that found her out?
Definitely more the distance than the going for me, Dees, and she won't have any issues with that going on a lightning fast Turffontein stance. I've been in Joburg since Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and it's rock hard out there. So that's going to suit number 2, Almond C, but she has to give a bit of weight away to number 3, Master Casper, who I think is getting the hang of things. I remember seeing him in the parade ring at Hollywoodbets Greyville when he ran on Hollywoodbets Gold Challenge Day, and he looked a little bit big, a little bit chunky, like he still needed the run on the back of his rest between Cape Town and returning back home to Joburg. He beat Wolf Mountain. Wolf Mountain's okay, probably he's above average, but he beat him in workmanlike fashion, the half-brother to Master Archie. He's nothing like his half-brother. I mean, he's got a lot of size and substance, does Master Casper, and I think that last run in Durban will actually bring up one quite a lot. There's obviously a little bit of a theme at play here with 5 of the 7 horses coming from the same ownership, 2 of them already out. So I think there's a desperation, and probably you'd find the one that, well, not desperation is the wrong word, but you'll probably find that the one that Lorena's on probably popping, and they're desperate to get a win under the belt, whereas Almond C comes off a bit of a break, maybe a bit of a knock to the confidence, and has to give a bit of weight away to Master Casper. So I'm leaning towards Master Casper. He's going to be the start of my my all to come here on this Turffontein card in the first leg of the bar pot. I think he'll be in the first 2 as far as bar pot purposes are concerned, hence I'm making him a win bet in my all to come. If there is a danger, it's likely to come from number 2, Almond C, but I just think 8-10 is a little bit too skinny about a horse that was clearly very precocious, that was a boom 2-year-old, but when they start off like that, it's very hard to live up to those heights going forward.
Okay, Alistair has found some nice value there, currently trading at 5-2, and after this show, those prices usually don't last. Number 3, Master Casper, is going to be his top choice, and as he mentioned, he's got an all-to-come bet that we'll wait for at the back end of the show. So let's move on to the place accumulator, which is race number 3. It's over 1,000 meters, a maiden plate for fillies and mares, and the PA 13:10, 10 past 1. Let's have a look at some betting here when we bring up the field, and it's on screen now. Number 2 at 8-1, 4 at 7-1, 8 at 3-1. We got an 18-10 shot here, number 9, and then 28-10, number 10, Take Your Chance. I think the question will be, how many horses would you consider for the place accumulator, Alistair? Are you siding with where the betting is leaning towards with those high numbers of 8, 9, and 10?
Absolutely. I'm a fan of the 2-year-olds nowadays. We've seen them more and more often come out against older opposition. I think we finally crossed the line, the threshold line of timing where the 2-year-olds are now sufficiently mature to take on the older horses. Also remember, older horses are still a maiden or in their place now for a reason. Very few are going to be improving unless they are top-class individuals. So I think the 2-year-olds definitely have the advantage. Funny enough, to answer your question, how many horses in the PA? 2 of the 3 between 8, 9 and 10, but the definite inclusion is number 10, Take Your Place, Muzi Yanni on board. I don't know if Muzi jumped off Kia Kaha. I don't know if he was dropped off. Excuse me. Lorena had a winner for the Aussies on Thursday with Gimme Fabulous in the final race on the day, and they haven't teamed up too often over the last few years, but that was a good tried and tested evergreen combination that maybe they're back together, and maybe you're going to see them together more often. But with Muzi on a high number draw down the Turffontein straight, Take Your Place finished in front of Hey Hey Julia when they met in late April behind Kindred Heart. There's 2 lengths for Hey Hey Julia to turn around. I think there's a lot of value about number 10, Take Your Place, at around 28 to 10, 3 to 1. St. John Gray's Yard generally comes alive this time of year. Better run last time when going back to 1,000 metres. We're nearly winning another stride. She would have won the race. I think that she's the one that's going to come out on top for me in the opening leg of the place accumulator. So I'm most keen on her chances. With regard to Kia Kaha, she can only improve. I thought first time out that it would open up for a first timer. I went for the wrong first time. I went with Kia Kaha instead of She's a Bomber because she had the inside draw around the Vol turn. But she can only improve. But I think there was plenty in her favour last time, and she failed to get the job done despite having all sorts of a window to improve with that first run under the belt.
So we're looking for a form result here. We're siding with the betting numbers 9 and 10, but if Alistair has to pick the one that he's siding with, it could be number 10, Take Your Place. Then on to the big one, the pick 6, race number 4. It's a maiden plate over 1,000 meters. Straight into the field, and the betting, you need to get on by 13:45, quarter to 2. Yeah, it's a nice early start. I'm just looking at the times here. What time will race number 9 be over at? Yep, 16:40, 20 to 5. So race number 4, 13:45, maiden plate. The field is up. Number 1, 28 to 10. Horse number 2 at 7 to 2. Then we go all the way down to this individual that attracted a lot of betting support on debut. And Fabian Habib does send his comments through on a race day. And he was very confident that this horse could make a winning debut. It was not to be, whilst the support was there. Did run a good race up to a point, but didn't find a finish. I can still remember the jump, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what happened there, but the horse jumped outwards and wasn't too smart out the gates. But that is accepted when these horses make their debut. How much more to come from number 12 on what you saw? Because I like the fact that he seemed to recover after that, awkward start, but then he didn't find a finish.
Dees, I don't want to know. This horse will win number 12, Tiger Storm. Provided he jumps straight. If he doesn't jump straight, I'll change the channel after 100 meters. For a first time over 1,000 meters to jump like that and be expected to be a force, especially when the track was running biased and he was drawn towards the inside. Waterloo's obviously come out and franked to own form. Takes a lot deep. If he's learned anything out of the stalls, and I'd anticipate Fabian Habib would have taken him back to the pens at Turffontein, shown him how to get out. Probably with Gavin Lorena on board in the stalls as well, or with the seasoned jockey on board in the stalls as well. If he learned anything, he'll win, especially with the vulnerabilities about the other two in the market. Tyson the Brave off for 10 months, not going to be easy. And then Let's Play Poker, God knows what happened last time when recovering from post-race distress. Keratila Kajedi gets on board for the Aussies. I'd venture to say that Let's Play Poker probably has an issue or two despite having a good amount of ability. I think he'll win number 12, Tiger Storm. I don't want to know. He's a banker in all bets for me. He's the second part of my win all to come. For me, he is the best bet on the day.
That's what we want. We want confidence because that helps reduce the pump significantly. And we're playing in free after leg number 1 with a banker, number 12, Tiger Storm. Then on to race number 5, which will be jackpot 1,600 meters. It's a novice handicap. So the betting here, number 1, 7 to 1. Horse number 2 at 8 to 1. and horse number 4 at 9-2, and then Chestnut Bomber number 7. This horse, I think there's room for any type of improvement. You'll see a certain Ridian there, and you may say, well, that's failed to win next time out. Been costly to follow the Kanemayer horse, but there's been a horse that's come out to win called Flying Cool, so I wouldn't read too much into who the horse beat, but this horse, Chestnut Bomber, I think it's got more to come. Then number 8 at 5-1, and it's double figures the balance. It's tough, Alistair, once you start winning your maiden and, taking on winners, especially when you're taking on older horses. I must admit, I just like the manner this horse stepped up in distance and the way he handled it with Govern Arena at a very tight Hollywoodbets Greyville track. I'm not one usually to go, all in or with lots of confidence out the maidens, but I think that the stable may have found the right feel for him here to probably go back-to-back. Number 7, Chestnut Bomber.
I totally agree, Deez. This was ran at Daily News 2000, and before I got to Hollywoodbets Greyville, I was chatting to Nico Cryptiotis, and he said, there's a horse, I don't know if it'll win, but I like him as a horse. It's Chestnut Bomber. Tell me what you think. And remember, we were in the parade ring, he was at a bit of a price, and the moment he walked past us, we said, okay, well, he looks the part. He's got everything. He's got all the attributes. I mean, to what level, it's impossible to say now. But the way he was turned out at Hollywoodbets Greyville, the powerful horse, the nature of the horse, professionalism of the horse, and the way that he won. And I think you're right. Let's ignore the fact that Ridian's been highly costly to follow. Chestnut Bomber was put on the floats of the companion for horses that were running later in the day, i.e. Barbaresco, and he came out on top in very good fashion, given every chance by Gavin Larena. Not going to be easy from the draw, but this horse has got so much so much scope to improve as number 7, Chestnut Bomber. And I think that if he overcomes the draw in a field of this nature, that he is going to be definitely the most interesting horse in the race and could be the horse to beat. There are a lot of horses here that are in their place that are not going anywhere. I think that he might get something to follow, a good lead to follow as well. Number 7, Chestnut Bomber from the draw, so with a little bit of back straight to work with, I think Gavin might be able to slot him in. I'd hesitate to say that he's an all-out pick 6 banker, although he is the third leg of my win all to come. I know that's a bit of a contrast in comments, but I think that he represents a horse that's very exciting in this race, and I think that he's better pound for pound than anyone else in this race.
Okay, rubber stamped. Number 7, Chestnut Bomber by Alistair Cohen, and that's race number 5, jackpot 1 over 1,600 meters. So if that has to go back bang, then it's a banker race number 4, 12 Tiger Storm. And for the exotics, we'll take a chance. Race number 5, horse number 7, Chestnut Bomber. So on to race number 6, which will begin jackpot 2, 1,600 meters, fillies and mares, 76 handicap. This is going to be wide open, Alistair. Let's see how are they going with the betting. Single figures, 1-9-2, 2 at 4-1, 3 at 4-1, 5 8-1. Across the pond from the St. John Gray stable will attract many followers on the form lines that she represents, especially her last 2 starts. She's trading at 3-1, number 6 at 8-1, and 9 at 7-1. So we've got lots to play for now because we've gone banker, and we've got a bit of a budget that we can start, digging into, Alistair. How many horses here? Jackpot 2.
Yeah, I think we need to open up here, Deez. I think this is where the card does get a little bit more tricky. Again, the 2-year-olds throw a real spanner into the works because they both got chances in the 4+7 across the pond for the reason you gave, having run third to place getter in grade 2 level on Hollywoodbets Durbanville and VJ's Angel, a 9 honourable member who's definitely got some scope to improve, and Kamalo at 53.5 does jump off the page. But I like a little bit of number 2, Quiet Rebellion here. Pettigrew's yards come to form. Draw 1's going to be a big advantage for her. She hasn't won in quite a while. In fact, it's nearly a year to the day that she last won. I think she can come alive here, number 2, Quiet Rebellion. and show her best. There were definitely signs of life since coming back from a break. She probably needed her first run back after a 5-month layoff. Her second run after a break was a little bit flat, but over 2,000 metres may have been a little bit on the far side for her. And I think there's plenty in her favour, number 2, Quiet Rebellion. So I'm going to recommend a good each-way play about the daughter of Silvana under Calvin Habib. Is she an out-and-out winner? Absolutely not. 6 JJ's Eagle gets into the conversation the way that here Call Me Borky absolutely trotted up on Thursday at Turffontein. 6 JJ's Eagle's probably underappreciated. 3 Zenobia's Gold, although she's what she is for a rating of 76, she's not getting much better and she's not going to get much worse. She has to be respected because it looks like she's running a bit more consistently now that she's won a couple of races. And 8 Boom Boom also gets into the conversation. So lots of chances, lots to include.
Okay, to summarize, can we narrow this down to less than half the field, which will be 5 or not?
2, 7, yeah, we can. 2, 7, 6, and 3 for me on the pick 6.
2, 7, 6, and 3. Let me just double check that. 2, 7, 6, and 3. I think I'm happy with that as well. And then at the bottom of the ones, that's a maiden winner. And then boom. Yeah, I'm happy with that. 2, 7, 6, and 3. 4 runners there in the pick 6, race number 6. Race number 7, 16, 15:30, sorry. 3:30, 11:60 is the distance, a middle stakes. And here the betting, number 1, 2 to 1, number 2, 8 to 1. Horse number 3 at 5 to 1. That is possibly the horse that will set the standards on the solid shifts that he puts in every time. Wow, look at his form, number 3, Richard the First, a horse that you'll want to own. Number 8, Passage of Power, is a very interesting run here, but number 7 is at 4 to 1, and 9 is at 6 to 1, and 10 at 8 to 1. Just going to give a comment on this horse, Passage of Power. I see now with Fabian Habib, new ownership, used to be with Preggy Somerson. If you delve into his form lines, Alistair, you will see that, whilst he's been best from 1,000 to 1,400 meters, there are some names in his form lines. I'll just read out some of them. Waterbury Lane, Cooper Leeway, Nelson Gladiatorian, Captain Narina Chagon. He's had some good battles here in KZN. And he just had the one run in Kabeja, and now with Fabian Habib. Keep an eye on him. I liked him as a horse when he used to be with Robbie Hill, and he did win 4 times there. So I just thought I'll give him some airtime here. But it looks like a competitive field. But the horse that I'll possibly go for in the PAs is number 3, Richard the First.
I think from a consistency point of view, number 3, Richard the First, is bang in the race. But Richard the First and Mount Pilatus have met each other twice, both in April. And although Richard the First finished in front of Mount Pilatus twice, there was only a length or so between them. And there's a big swing at the weights in favour of Mount Pilatus, who doesn't win very easily. Excuse me, he's a one-time winner from 13 starts. He last won 415 days ago, but surely his consistency is going to be rewarded one of these days. You'll probably find that he's going to be most suited to going into a handicap and winning there. He's only run in a handicap once, and that was in a novice handicap in mid-November. And he finished 3rd behind DJ Jr. over a distance he probably didn't get home over. So maybe it's a bit of a slow burn to get him into the right type of race. But I think number 7, Mount Pilatus, has every chance of finishing in front of number 3, Richard the First, although I respect number 3, Richard the First chances, and I think that he's got a lovely chance of claiming honours. So too number 2, Fire and Flames. He was in the Golden Horse Sprints. He was a reserve, obviously, and didn't make the trip down to Maritzburg in the end, but was a good win over Mount Pilatus at his penultimate start, so he has to be respected. And I've found 2 funny horses here that I wouldn't want to leave out. One of them is number 6, Tulip Tree. He stayed on nicely just 9 days earlier behind Call Me When You Need Me, showing signs of life. And the other one is number 4, Roll With The Punches. Don't laugh at me. Completely lost his way, the son of Active War, but if he bounces back, shows an electric pace that he's known to have. I mean, this horse has been running at grade 2 level once upon a time. He's completely lost the plot, judging by his form. I think he had a bad experience in the starting stalls once upon a time, or not so long ago, and his form's kind of fallen away as a result. But Roy Magner's not going to keep this horse from training if he didn't believe that there was something to come. He's back 13 days later, second run after a short layoff. He'll be in my pick 6. I'm probably making a case for something that's got no case to be made for until we see an upward turn and a bit of life from the son of Active War. But I'm putting him in my pick 6, and I'd recommend that the viewers do the same.
Okay.
But there are lots in here. Chayavana's a runner, Danilo Danilovic. What I'm saying is we've gotten lots earlier on. If you can afford the field and you think that's the way to go, put in the field.
No argument from me. We're multiplying the perm by 10 at the time of recording. It's a field race, but there are 4 horses that you can narrow down for your place accumulator and maybe even jackpot 2. Race number 8, 1160. We're at the back end of the race meeting now, and number 1, Long Sword at 18 to 10. Then we go on to horse number 3 at 5 to 1, 5 Bob at 5 to 1, number 6 at 8 to 1, and we got one more runner, 11 Cityscape, I see, is at 7 to 1. So we've multiplied the perm by a field. Now we still got some leeway with our budget. I don't know how many horses we're going to be going here, Alistair, because I'm just jotting down an in-running guide for the pick 6 for the guys. Well, let's start off with Longsword. Is he the right horse at top of betting boards at 18 to 10?
He's my second choice here, Dees. The outside draw is going to help. He can be in and out. He probably didn't get home over 14.50 to his penultimate start. He's got a lovely stride, the son of William Longsword. And, Sean Terry sort of got him on the up of a rating of 84. I mean, he was a mid-70s, and he looked like he was in his place off a mid-70s, but he's definitely found his love as number 1 Longsword. So I put him in the race, but my top choice here is number 3 Falcon. Cabello Mazzaniani rides for Brett Crawford. I liked his last run behind Bob's Your Uncle, although that might not look the case. As a result, his ratings come down by 1 kilogram, but it's penultimate start to Halberdier, who I think is a few steps above the handicapper. On his run there was a sprint race where he was horribly out at the weights and ran much above his rating, and he's won twice subsequently. So simply on that evidence, Falcon aligns himself as a horse that might just be above the curve. I know he hasn't won in a while, 487 days. It's his 4th run in Joburg. He might have just needed his first couple of runs back. I think now is the time to see the best of the son of Schnitzel, and I think that he can go fairly well. So he's my top choice in the penultimate race on the card. 1 Longsword, all the respect in the world for. I think number 5 Bob's got a good chance. If he didn't have an inside draw, I'd probably tip him right alongside number 3 Falcon, but I wouldn't let him run loose. There are a few in here off the same sort of idea, but I think it's all going to click for number 3 Falcon this time around, and I'm going to make a strong case for him. So a few in the pick 6, but he'll be my final leg of the all to come. If you're not as brave as me, then maybe just a little place to finish things off and give yourself a bit of a safety net.
Can we just go 1, 3, 5 in the pick 6, or do we need to look at a few more numbers?
If I had to go one more, it would be the Kamalo ride, number 9 Lulu's Boy, because when him and Quibus Root team up, there's generally business to be done, and I think he gets something out of number 9 Lulu's Boy, so that would be my alternative.
Okay, 1, 3, 5, and 9. I'm happy with that. 1, 3, 5, and 9 going to be our numbers there in the in-running pick 6. And then we close things off in race number 9, and it's a merit-rated 66 handicap. What that means, it's an E division class. 1,160 meters betting. Number 1, After Hours at 8 to 1. Then we go on to number 4, Vava Vegas at 9 to 2. 6 is Kitty Boy's Girl at 9 to 2. 7, Samoa. She's a 9-year-old. What's she having? A 93rd start. She's at 7 to 1. 9, Risky Business at 6 to 1. And 10, Della Sword is at 4 to 1. And that is it. This looks very difficult. I mentioned, the rating of the race and the low division handicap, but this can be form turnarounds. I know these horses have run it against each other. This race can't be trusted, Alistair. Anything could happen here.
It's not a win-bet race, but it's undoubtedly a quartet race. I mean, look, I don't have a calculator, and you don't have the time, but if you work out the combined runs between the 12 horses in this race, I reckon you'll break a record. This Samoa 92 starts, but After Hours 73, Dark Tide 58, Bridge of Spies 77. There's nearly 200 between 4 horses in the race. I think I've found to say the winner, that would probably not be doing it justice, but I think I found a bit of value. I've been for him before, and he tends to do me more favours than not. That's number 8, Dark Tide, turning 8 years old in 3 weeks' time. Samoa turns 10 in 3 weeks' time. It's amazing the longevity of these horses. To go to Dark Tide's highest rating would probably be foolhardy, from an 88 down to a 55. Never ever reached an 88 again, but last time he ran over a mile. That distance is not for him. His rating came down another pound. I think he's run fairly well to horses of similar ability along the last few months or so. What I'm saying is, each way play, maybe more of a place bet than a win bet in the final race. Put him into everything that you can afford. There was a horse earlier on that I found that hadn't won in a year. This horse also hasn't won in a year, in 362. So maybe the cycles and the placement of the sun and the moon all going to come to the aid of number 8, Dark Tide, if you enjoy my pun there. So put them into your trifectas and quartets. Whatever happens, it will pay. Horses like Samoa, horses like number 11, Sam the Wise Man, all got to go in. 3, Red Carpet Girl, also a quartet chance. Vava Vegas probably got to go in. So there's 5 horses of the 12 that you can run with in the final race quartet. But again, as far as the pick 6 is concerned, whatever your budget is, look for quite a few in here. I think there are 2 field races on the day, but I think earlier on we might have saved a few pennies to make things quite affordable.
Well, you've given us some horses to follow there. I've just written field there, Alistair. I'm going to read out the perm before we get to your suggested bet. It's an in-running pick 6 that you can use as a guide. 12 a banker, 7 a banker, about 2, 3, 6, and 7 by the field, multiplied by 10 at the time of recording, by 1, 3, 5, and 9 by the field, multiplied by 12. 2 fields, 2 bankers, cut down in a few of those legs. That perm, 192 rand. Will give you 10%. 192 equals 10%. So that's an in-running pick 6. Over to you, Alistair. Your suggested bet?
And on the back of that pick 6, we've got a fair record with these in-running spontaneous pick 6s. I'm beginning to wonder whether that pick 6 is not a better option than this all to come. But here's the all to come anyway. 4-legged win all to come. Might be a 3-legged win all to come in the final leg place if I'm not brave enough on race day. But anyway, race 2, number 3, Master Casper is where it all begins. Race 4, number 12, Tiger Storm, I really like. Race 5, number 7, Chestnut Bomber, I really like. And then race 8, number 3, Falcon.
Okay, Alistair, that cough of yours sounds vicious. Go and have your meds and, take care of yourself. And I think lots of doo-doo will certainly help. It's rest that gets the body regenerated. And we wish you all the best because, after Hollywoodbets Durban July Day, I know that you haven't been well. And it sounds like that cough needs to get sorted out. So all the best, my brother. Wish you a speedy recovery.
Thanks, Dees. Really appreciate it. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
Okay, Alistair Cohen, as always, a soldier. That is what he is. He could have said, no, I can't come on the line. I am under the weather. But he's managed to get through this card, and hopefully his input will help you find yourself in the winner's enclosure. That is it. On behalf of Alistair Cohen, the Gallop TV team, and myself, Dees Dine, and to you, the valued racing fan. Hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful Saturday for you. Find all the winners, have a blast, and until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.